These are the only 5 exercises you need to build full body strength that actually lasts. And if you're over 40, the way your body holds on to strength has already started changing whether you've noticed it yet or not. The first exercise is the slow tempo push-up. And before you skip past this one, because you think you already know how to do a push-up, here's the problem. You've probably been doing this movement the same rushed way since gym class, and that's exactly why it stopped building anything a long time ago. Speed is what turns this exercise into a habit instead of a tool. When you drop down and push back up in under a second, momentum does most of the work, and your muscles barely get the message to grow stronger. Slow it down, and everything changes, and there's a specific tempo that actually makes this work. We'll get to that in just a second. You spend real time under tension in the position where your chest, shoulders, and triceps are doing the most work, and that's the exact position people blow straight through without ever feeling it. And here's why that matters beyond just strength. Slowing down forces your body to actually control the weight instead of just falling into it, and that control is what protects your shoulders and elbows from the kind of wear and tear that builds up quietly over years of fast, sloppy reps. Get into a standard push-up position, hands slightly wider than your shoulders, and lower yourself down for a full 4 seconds. Pause at the bottom without letting your chest touch the floor, then press back up just as slow. Another 4 seconds on the way up. That full cycle, down, pause, up, is 1 rep, and you'll feel an insane difference in how much control you actually have over your own strength. Think about that for a second. The push-up is one of the clearest signals of whether your body is actually getting stronger or just getting more efficient at cutting corners. And the difference between those two things shows up eventually, whether it's in your shoulders, your wrists, or just how tired your arms feel carrying groceries up a flight of stairs. There's an exercise coming up that's one of the best pull strength exercises of all time, and it often gets avoided altogether, not because it's dangerous, but because they never built the strength to feel confident trying it. I'll show you an easy way to rack up a lot of clean reps of it, even if you can't do one right now. But first, we need to establish a rock-solid core, because that's what makes everything after it actually work. This next one doesn't look like much the first time you see it. No sweating, no heavy breathing, barely any range of motion at all, which is a big reason almost nobody does it, even though it might do more for your core than anything else on this list. Here's the thing, most core exercises train your abs to move, crunches, sit-ups, twisting motions, but your core's real job in everyday life has almost nothing to do with movement. Its actual job is resisting movement, keeping your spine steady while everything else around it is trying to pull you off balance. That's a completely different skill, and almost nobody trains for it directly. This exercise is called the Pallof press, and it trains exactly that. You're pressing a weight straight out in front of you while your core fights to stop your torso from twisting toward it. No crunching, no rotating, just pure resistance to a force trying to pull you off center. This matters for reasons that go far beyond your abs. A core that can resist rotation is what keeps your lower back protected when you're reaching, lifting, or twisting to grab something behind you. The exact moments most back injuries happen. Set it up like this. Attach a resistance band to something sturdy at chest height, or use a cable machine if you have one. Stand sideways to the anchor point. Grip the band or handle with both hands at your chest. Feet shoulder width apart. Press your arms straight out in front of you, keeping your torso completely still, no twisting toward or away from the anchor. Hold for 2 seconds, then pull back to your chest with control. That's 1 rep. 3 sets of 10 reps per side is enough. The instant you feel your hips or shoulders start to rotate, that's your core losing the fight, so reset and go a little lighter. And here's where it gets even deeper. The stillness you're building here isn't just about your midsection. It's the same stability your body leans on every time you carry something heavy on one side, do yard work, or even swing a golf club. A core that can hold its ground is a body you can actually trust, instead of one you're always bracing to protect. Now let's get to the exercise I mentioned earlier. This is the exercise so many people avoid their entire lives, not because they don't want the results, but because they walk up to a bar, can't do a single rep, and just decide it isn't for them. That exercise is the pull-up, and here's what needs to be said up front. If you can't do many of these right now, or any at all, that doesn't rule you out. We're still putting it on this list because it's one of the best pulling exercises that exists, and there's variations that make this easier so you can still get the benefits. Pull-ups train your back, your grip, and your shoulders all at once, but the real reason this movement matters so much is what it does to your posture. Years of sitting, driving, and looking down at a screen pull your shoulders forward and round your upper back. Pull-ups pull the other direction, literally, and that reversal is what keeps you standing tall instead of hunched. Here's how to work toward it. If you can already do a few strict pull-ups, do 3 sets of as many clean reps as you can. No kipping, no swinging. If you can't yet, use a resistance band looped over the bar, or a pull-up assist machine at the gym, same rep range. Another option is the negative pull-up. Jump or step up to the top position, then lower yourself down as slowly as you can, 3 to 5 seconds on the way down. Do 5 of those per set. Think about the difference this makes over a few weeks. Every assisted rep and every slow negative is building the exact strength that eventually lets you do it unassisted. And that path is a lot shorter than people usually assume once they start walking it. Now, there's a piece of the puzzle that decides whether your body holds on to strength for the long run, and that's worth pausing on for a second. Most programs are built around the muscles you can see and skip the small stabilizers that hold everything else together. That's exactly why so many people build strength in one area and still feel stiff, achy, or like their body is quietly breaking down somewhere else. I created the Reset Your Body Blueprint, and it's the foundation program built around those overlooked stabilizer muscles that get ignored. Aging has less to do with getting older and everything to do with what happens when we stop moving certain ways and let those stabilizers go quiet on us. If you want a body that can keep doing the exercises and activities you love for years to come instead of slowly breaking down, there's a QR code on the screen for you to scan with your phone, or check the link in the description below the video. This next one you've probably done before, but there's a good chance you've been doing it in a way that's been working against you without you even realizing it. The goblet squat is simple. Hold a dumbbell or kettlebell at your chest. Squat down until your hips drop below your knees, then stand back up. But the version most people do rushes through the bottom, barely reaching depth before popping back up, and that shortcut is exactly where the exercise loses most of its value. Full depth is what forces your hips, knees, and ankles to actually work through their full range instead of just supporting a partial one. And that full range is exactly what starts disappearing as people spend more of their day sitting, which makes getting in and out of a chair, off the floor, or a car feel harder than it used to. Here's the form breakdown. Hold a dumbbell or kettlebell vertically against your chest with both hands. Feet just outside shoulder width, toes turned slightly out. Squat down, keeping your chest up and the weight close to your body until your hips drop below your knee crease. Pause for a second at the bottom, then drive through your heels to stand back up. 3 sets of 12 reps is a solid target. If depth feels tight at first, only go as low as you can control, and that range will open up quickly with consistent practice. Every rep you do at full depth is your body relearning a range of motion it never actually lost, just stopped using. This exercise looks almost too simple to belong on a list like this, which is exactly why it's so easy to underestimate. The farmer's carry is exactly what it sounds like. Pick up a heavy weight in each hand and walk. That's the entire movement. No complicated setup, no technique that takes weeks to learn. But underneath that simplicity, it's training your grip, your posture, and your entire core at the same time, all while you're just walking. Grip strength fades quietly for a lot of people, and it shows up in small moments. A jar lid that used to open easily, a grocery bag that starts to slip halfway to the car, a handshake that doesn't feel as solid as it once did. The farmer's carry rebuilds exactly that, along with the upright posture it takes to keep 2 heavy weights from pulling your shoulders forward and down. This one couldn't be simpler to set up. Pick up a heavy dumbbell or kettlebell in each hand, arms at your sides, shoulders pulled back and down instead of shrugged up toward your ear. Walk in a straight line for 30 to 40 steps, keeping your core braced the entire time like someone might bump into you. Set the weights down with control, rest, and repeat for 3 total rounds. You can go a little heavier here. This exercise responds to load more than almost anything else on this list, and carrying something heavy and unwieldy is real-world strength that barbells and machines rarely replicate. And if you want the full system all of this fits into, the Reset Your Body Blueprint is linked below.